सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। अनन्तरूपा अनन्तनामा आदिमूला नारायण अनन्तरूपा अनन्तनामा आदिमूला नारायण अनन्तशयना हे जगन्नाथ कमलनयना हे माधवा अनन्तशयना हे जगन्नाथ कमलनयना हे माधवा करुणासागर कालियनर्तन करुणासागर कालियनर्तन हे दया सिन्धो कृष्णा हे दया सिन्धो अनन्तरूपा अनन्तनामा आदिमूला नारायण विश्वरूपा विश्वाधारा विश्वेश्वर हे नारायण विश्वरूपा विश्वाधारा विश्वेश्वर हे नारायण भवभयहरण दीनोद्धरण भवभयहरण दीनोद्धरण हे कृपा सिन्धो कृष्णा हे कृपा सिन्धो अनन्तरूपा अनन्तनामा आदिमूला नारायण आदिमूला नारायण ॐ नमो नारायणाय 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 घुष्यते यस्य नगरे रङ्गयात्रा दिने दिने अमहं शिरसा वन्दे राजानं कुलशेखरम्। Together up to verse number 7, page number 7, first one. Vande Mukundamaravindalayaksham Kundendushankhadasanam Shishugopavesham Indradidevaganavanditapadapitham Vrindavanālayamaham Vasudevasūnum Shri Vallabheti Varadeti Dayapareti Bhakta Priyeti Bhavalunthana Kovideti Theti Nagashayaneti Jagannivaseti Alapanam Pratipadam Kuru Mam Mukunda Jayatu Jayatu Devo Devaki Nandanoyam Jayatu Jayatu Krishno Vrishnivaṁshav Pradipah Jayatu Jayatu Meghashyamalah Komalangah Jayatu Jayatu Prithvi Bharanasho Mukundah Mukundamurdhna Pranipatyayache Bhavantamekantamiyantamartham Charanarvinde Bhavi Bhavi Mestu Bhavat Prasadat Naham Vande Tava Charanayor Dvandvamadvandva Heto Kumbhipakam Gurumapi Hare Narakam Napanetum Ramya Rama Mridutanulatām Nandanena Pirantum Bhave Bhave Hridaya Bhavane Bhavayeyam Bhavantam Nastha Dharme Navasunichaye Naiva Kamopabhoge Yad Yad Bhavyam Bhavatu Bhagavan Purvakarmanurupam Prarthyam Mama Bahumatam Janma Janmantarepi Tvat Padambhoruyugagata Nischala Bhaktirastu Divi va bhuvi va mamastu vasaha Narake va narakantaka prakamam Avadhirita sharadaravindo Charanau te maranepi chintayani Charanau te maranepi chintayani. After having glorified the Lord, Bhagavan is none other than the avatar in the form of Bhagavan Sri Krishna. So after having glorified, Kulashekhara presents his request. What is the request? Bhagavan, I am praying to you not to get some punya or something. I am worshipping you not to go to heaven and enjoy heavenly pleasures. I am praying unto you not to get rid of the hellish sufferings. I am praying unto you not to get some name, fame, power, position, etc. My prayer is not to get rid of my prarabdha karma. Bhagavan, whatever has to come, let it come. The purpose of my prayer is only one, May I ever have unwavering devotion at your lotus feet. At the time of death, may I ever remember you. This is the only thing which I pray. Now, up to this we had seen. Here Kulashekhara says, bhuviva mamastu vasaha narakeva narakantaka prakamam. Bhagavan, it doesn't matter even if you put me in hell. How much ever, how long ever you want, I have no complaint. But my only request is, even in hell, may my mind ever remain at your lotus feet. So now, here comes a possibility for discussion. What actually decides our happiness? When we superficially analyze our experiences, we come to know that external environment decides our state of mind. Yes or no? Yeah. If the external environment is conducive, I feel happy. When the external environment is unconducive, I am miserable. So therefore, the natural or conclusion would be external environment decides my state of mind. But when we analyze situations a little deeper, we come to know that no, it is not the external environment which is going to decide my state of mind. It is the thoughts in my mind which is going to decide my joy or sorrow. Even in an unconducive environment, if my thoughts are noble, my mind is peaceful. Even in a conducive environment, if my thoughts are negative, then my mind is disturbed. So therefore, we have to conclude that it is not the external environment, but it is the kind of thoughts which I entertain which decides my happiness. This point is very, very important. If my thoughts are good and noble, I am happy wherever I am. Even in hell, I will experience only peace if my thoughts are noble. Even if I am in heaven, if my thoughts are ignoble, impure, then I will have only a disturbed state of mind. This is a great truth to be understood. It's my responsibility. If I want to be a peaceful person, happy person, cheerful person, there is only one thing I have to do: ensure that the thoughts are noble and divine. That's all we need to do. This is the secret of happiness. When we don't know the secret, what we try to do? We try to keep on changing the paristhiti, the external environment. This is the secret of happiness. You don't have to change your paristhiti, you have to change your manasthiti. It's the secret of happiness. And if this great secret you know, then you can be happy wherever you are. You don't have to search for happiness in the outer world. You can be happy wherever you are. This is the secret. It's a beautiful verse in Tulsi Ramayana. Hanumanji comes back. This comes in Sundarkand. Hanumanji comes back after burning Lanka, giving the message to Sita Mata, etc. So Bhagavan asks, Hanuman, tell me, how is Sita? So then Hanumanji says, Bhagavan, she is in a miserable condition. So immediately we should go kill that Ravana and bring Sita Mata back. Her condition is miserable. Every moment for her is like a kalpa. At that time Bhagavan makes a statement. Is the person who thinks of me is dedicated to me thought, word and deed, for such a person, even in his dream, there cannot be misery. Very important statement. A person who is remembering me, I refuse to believe that that person is miserable. Bhagavan says. It's true. If the mind is in Ananda Swarupa Bhagavan, so what will be the experience of that mind? Ananda or Dukkha? Ananda. If the mind is in blissful Lord, Lord is Satchit Ananda. If the mind is in Bhagavan, if the mind is abiding in that Supreme Self, if that is happening, then your experience has to be bliss. This is a great psychological truth. Times people say, Swamiji, I am doing japa, but I am not finding joy in japa. What does it mean? What does it mean? Mind is not in the Lord. Bhagavan and dukkha cannot go together. Cannot go together. If you are doing japa and still you are miserable, what does it mean? That japa is a mechanical japa. You are chanting, as Kabirji says, Kabir Das, the tongue is rolling, mala is rolling, and the mind is also rolling. What is happening is, japa is being done by the mechanical mind, not by the conscious mind. Mind also has two types. Mechanical and the conscious. You experience what you do with your conscious mind, not what you do with your mechanical mind. The japa is happening with the mechanical mind, and consciously I am worrying about my problems. So what will I experience? Misery. This is one way to test the quality of my japa also. If you consciously pay attention and ensure that your mind is only thinking of the Lord, be present in the Lord, consciously listening to the chanting of the Lord, you will find that mind becomes extremely calm. This is how we have to find out whether our sadhana is happening well or not. Mechanical sadhana has no value in the eyes of Bhagavan. Because you are where your conscious mind is. You are not where your mechanical mind is. Presence is where your conscious mind is. And that's what Bhagavan wants. So this is a great truth. So, if the mind is thinking of Bhagavan, there cannot be any sorrow. Then Hanumanji makes a beautiful statement. Hanumanji says, Bhagavan, the greatest sorrow in this world is the inability to remember you. See the definition of sorrow for a devotee. For an immature devotee, what is the definition of sorrow? Unconducive environment. Loss of wealth, health, etc. For an immature devotee, unconducive environment is sorrow. What about a mature devotee? Inability to remember God is sorrow. You see the two different definitions. So Kunti Mata says, what is the prayer of Kunti Mata? In Bhagavatam it comes. Vipadas santu nashashvat tatra tatra jagad guru bhavato darshanam yatsyat apunar bhavadarshanam. Bhagavan, vipadas santu nashashvat. Again and again let sorrows come to me, tragedies come to me, miseries come to me, because Bhagavan, only during these miserable times I am able to wholeheartedly turn my attention towards you, and when I turn my attention to you, I experience your presence. Therefore, Bhagavan, give me more and more sorrows. You see the prayer of a mature devotee. What is our prayer? Bhagavan, take away all problems. This has to be understood. So that's exactly what is happening here. Kulashekhara, what is his prayer? Bhagavan, put me wherever you want, heaven or hell. My concern is not where I am. My concern is where my mind is. Bhagavan, bless me in such a way that even at the time of death, marane api charanau te chintayami, at the time of death also, bless me that I may be able to remember your lotus feet. But Bhagavan, I know it is very, very, very difficult. Why is it difficult? Next verse. Page number 36. Krishna Tvadiya pada pankaja pancharantaha Deva me vishatu manasarajaham saha Prana prayana samaye kaphavata pittaihi Kantavarodhana vidhau smaranam kutaste Krishna Tvadiya pada pankaja pancharantaha Adyeva me vishatu manasarajaham saha Prana prayana samaye kaphavata pittaihi Kantavarodhana vidhau smaranam kutaste. Bhagavan, at the time of death, it is very, very, very difficult to remember you. Why is it difficult to remember? Prana prayana samaye. When that prana is doing prayana, the prana, the life force, the life in me, that prana vayu, prayana samaye, when it leaves the body, what happens to that person? Kapha vata pittehi kantha avarodhana vidhau. There happens kantha avarodhana. The throat is choked. Choked with what? Kapha vata pitta. Kapha means phlegm. Vata. Vata means wind. Pitta means bile. Kapha vata pitta. So there is an imbalance of these three, and then the throat is choked. That is what happens at the time of death. The prana vayu, through the udana vayu, it is exiting the body. It is a moment of extreme pain. They say that the pain during birth and the pain during death, both are same. Extreme pain. Bhagavan, in that extreme pain, in those moments, smaranam kutaste. How is it possible that a person can ever remember you? It is the most difficult thing to remember. Many times people think, okay, live the way you want, and finally, like Ajamila, Narayana, and then you are liberated. So here it is said, it is very, very, very difficult. It is not easy. Because those last moments, you are not given any choice what to think. There is extreme pain, choiceless. Then what kinds of thought come to our mind? What all kinds of thoughts we have been entertaining throughout our life, those thoughts will automatically take over. Based on our vasanas, inclinations, tendencies, this is what happens. That's what Bhagavad Gita says. Antakale cha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram yaf prayati samadbhavam yati nastyatra samshayah. Bhagavan says, Antakale mam smaran. Those last moments, a person who remembers me and leaves the body, prayati madbhavam, such a person reaches me. In the last moment, the one who is able to remember God and leave the body, he reaches me. Na samshayaha, there is no doubt about it. But the problem is, yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajatyante kalevaram tam tamevaiti kaunteya sada tad bhava bhavitah. Sada tad bhava bhavitah. A person is nothing but the bundle of thoughts he has been entertaining throughout his life. And slowly what happens is that person becomes those bundle of thoughts. Money-minded, power-hungry, whatever it is. So then, in those last moments, these thoughts automatically come. If that person has been entertaining worldly thoughts throughout his life, those worldly thoughts will come. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajatyante kalevaram. So when these worldly thoughts come at the time of death, these thoughts are the one which are going to determine his future life, his future journey. This is the law. So what is the greatest test for all of us? The greatest test is ability to remember God at the time of death. And this is considered in Bhagavatam as the greatest attainment in life. Janmalabhav param pumsam ante narayana smritihi. Ante narayana smriti. In those last moments, are you able to remember God? Janmalabhav param pumsam. This is the greatest achievement. Lifetime achievement award. What is the award? Liberation is the award. Becoming one with the Lord is the award. That is the greatest award. All those awards are nothing because this award is coming from Bhagavan himself, not some helpless, hopeless human being. That we have to prepare ourselves. So how can we prepare? So Bhagavan in Bhagavad Gita says, Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yudhyacha Arjuna. Mayarpita manobuddhi mam eva eshyasi asamshayah. So therefore Arjuna, sarveshu kaleshu, all moments, remember me. Make remembering me a habit. Because only that habit will take you through in those last moments. Last moments, what is going to function is only the habits that you have cultivated. So therefore, sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara. Remember all the time. And then perform your duties. Perform your duties, remembering me. This is what you have to do. So then what will happen? Remembering me becomes your habit. That becomes your nature, your tendency. And therefore, in those last moments when the prana is leaving, then there won't be any difficulty because this remembering God has become effortless in you, a habit in you. Then there won't be any problem. So what has to be done? Sarveshu kaleshu anusmara. That is exactly what is being said here. So therefore Kulashekhara says, Bhagavan, Krishna tvadiya padapankaja pancharantaha adyaiva me vishatu. Adya eva. Now itself, today itself, vishatu, may my mind, manasa rajahamsa, may my, the what you call, royal swan of my mind, rajahamsa, may enter, vishatu, where? Tvadiya pada pankaja pancharantaha. That resting place, the nest of your lotus feet. May the royal swan of my mind enter into this nest of your lotus feet. Adyaiva, now itself, today itself. Let me not wait for those last moments. Spirituality, let me take up after retirement. No, 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 no. Even when I am young, as Swami Vivekananda used to say, even when the flower is fresh, you must offer it to Bhagwan, not when the flower has become faded. Very young age itself, this habit must be cultivated. The habit of remembering God. Never delay it. Never postpone it. So, Adyaiva me vishatu. Now itself, today itself, may I make it a habit to remember the Lord. Kulashekhara, how are you going to remember the Lord? That is the content of the next verse. Verse number 9, page number 45. Chintayami harimeva santatam mandamandahasitananambujam nandagopatanayam paratparam naradadi vrindavanditam chintayami harimeva santatam mandamandahasitananambujam nandagopatanayam paratparam naradadi vrindavanditam. Let us chant 10th also, page number 48. Sarasijanayane sashankhachakre murabhidima viramasvachit tarantum sukhakaramaparam najatu jane haricharanasmaranamrutena tulyam. Sarasijanayane sashankhachakre murabhidima viramasvachit tarantum sukhakaramaparam najatu jane haricharanasmaranamrutena tulyam. Yes. So therefore, let me make this habit of God remembrance by constant practice. What is the practice which I am going to do? Chintayami harim eva santatam. May I meditate upon Hari constantly, satatam. What kind of Hari? Manda hasitanana ambujam. That lotus face, anana ambujam. And what kind of face? Not one ghora, terrible, angry face. No, no. Manda hasita. With a smile on that face. Now this is very important. What kind of deity you worship, slowly you possess those characteristics. Okay? If you are worshipping a terrible deity, your personality also will become terrible. This is a psychological fact. So therefore always worship a sattvic deity, not rajasic or tamasic deities. If you want a pleasant, peaceful, gentle character. So manda hasitanam. May I meditate on that Hari who is smiling. Who is he? Nandagopa Tanayam, son of Nandagopa, the one who gave joy to Nandagopa and Yashoda, who is Parat Param, though he has taken this physical form, but actually who is he? Parat Param, higher than the highest. So what is that highest? So if you study Vedanta, you will know that highest is called the Avyakta Prakriti. The whole creation has come from that unmanifest creation. The creation in its causal form, Karana Prapancha. That Karana Prapancha is called the highest because there is no destruction for that Prapancha. Prakriti is always there. Even when Pralaya happens, that matter is in that unmanifest state. So that unmanifest state of matter is called Para. So Parat Param, higher than the highest. Bhagavan is the one who is giving existence to that unmanifest state of matter, because Bhagavan is a very consciousness, the only reality. So that ultimate reality is called Parat Param. So that Bhagavan, that pure consciousness has taken a form. This beautiful form of Krishna is that ultimate reality. Knowing this great truth, I must meditate upon that form of Krishna, of Hari. So these are all the things which should occupy your mind when you are seeing the beautiful form of the Lord. Ratparam, and then Naradadi Munivrinda Vanditam. All the great sages like Narada, they know the glory of worshipping the Lord. What is the glory? Now in the case of Narada, who was Narada in his previous birth? A servant maid. So that story comes in Srimad Bhagavatam. Narada himself tells of Vyasa Rishi the glory of bhakti. Narada says, "Oh Vyasa Rishi, look at me. What bhakti has done to me. I was born as a child of a servant maid, of a Shudra Stri, inferior by birth. But by chanting his name, by developing devotion to him, see what has happened to me." Narada is a person, very rare personality, who can travel in any of the 14 worlds, unobstructed. He doesn't want any visa. He can travel. And that too, he has been given a veena, that instrument, tamburu. That veena, in that veena, it is said that you can even bring out celestial music. The ordinary worldly veena can bring only worldly music. But this veena can bring out celestial music. That is the glory of Narada Rishi. And he was born as the mind-born son of Brahma himself. That is the state where Narada Rishi reached. So that's why that name is written there. Naradadi Munivrinda Vanditam. That is the glory of chanting the name of the Lord. That is the glory of developing devotion for the Lord. You completely get transformed yourself. So keeping all this thing, you must meditate upon Bhagavan. Sarasijanayane Sashankha Chakre. So now this is the beautiful form of the Lord. So in Bhagavatam, this is the kind of meditation suggested for the beginners. For the beginners, advanced meditation is not prescribed. What is the meditation for the beginners? Look at the form of the Lord, meditate upon that form. So the steps given is like this. Keep looking at Bhagavan, that form, that beautiful form. Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma, that beautiful form. Then close your eyes, then visualize this form. This is the meditation technique given by Narada to Dhruva, that little boy of 5 years. He just leaves everything, goes to the forest to meditate, not even knowing how to meditate, what to meditate. Then Narada Rishi comes and says, this is the way. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, chant this mantra, and then this is the way from Keshadipadam, from head to toe, toe to head. Visualize that Bhagavan. Look at the form and then visualize. Now this is a beautiful form of meditation which we can suggest to our children, to Balavihar children, etc. We find in the journey of Master, Puja Gurudev also does this. So when he was made to sit through that bhajan session, so the strict instruction was, unless the bhajan is finished, you will not get food. And if you don't attend that session, evening prayer session, you are not going to get food. That was the thing. So therefore children helplessly they sit. So how to pass time, because he was not having any interest in all these bhajans. So this is what Puja Gurudev used to do. There was a beautiful form of Shiva. So he would look at the form of Shiva and then close his eyes and try to visualize all those minute details. So this is the training we can give our children also. What you call an activity on meditation. So keep a beautiful picture, ask them to open their eyes and pay attention to all minute details of that photo. Then ask them to close their eyes and try to visualize. How clearly are they able to see that form? So then what happens? Not only there is Chitta Shuddhi, there is also Chitta Ekagrata, concentration of the mind and purity of the mind. Both grows when we do this. The same technique is here also mentioned. Sarasijanayane Sashankha Chakre. But as we grow, we should also understand the symbolic meaning of all this. I am sure you all must be knowing it. That's a beautiful book written by Puja Gurudev, Symbolism in Hinduism. So what is the symbolism of this Shankha Chakra Gada Padma? So all of us, we are guided every moment by the Lord. Bhagavan is always with us, paying attention to us, suggesting the right path, lovingly warning us. This is what is mentioned by these four hands. So first hand is Shankha, blowing the conch. So what is that Shankha? Deep inside us, there is that inner voice, the voice of conscience, which asks us to follow the path of goodness, to follow the path of righteousness, to follow the path of dharma. That inner voice is that sound of the conch, Shankhanada. Every one of us, we can hear that voice. Purer the mind, with greater clarity, we are able to hear to that voice, that inner voice, Shankha. Suppose we listen to that voice and live our life righteously, then what will you get? Padma. Padma means lotus. What is lotus? Lotus means perfection. Lotus is considered to be a perfect flower. Why is it perfect? That lotus grows in stinking water but brings out fragrance. Now this is called perfection in life. Experiences are bitter, but through those bitter experiences, you create a better personality. Sweet personality. The pains and sufferings in life makes you sweet. The pains and sufferings makes you a bitter personality, then you have learned the wrong lessons of life. If the sufferings are making you a better person, sweeter person, more loving person, sensitive person, compassionate one, that is a message of lotus. Stinking water bringing out fragrance. Ugly water bringing out beauty. Now this is another thing about lotus. Beautiful flower, but nothing surrounding that flower is beautiful. It is a muck, dirty water, but this flower brings beauty. Water is tasteless. What about this flower? It is nectarian. Bees come to drink that nectar, honey. You see? Everything negative, this flower converts into positive. What is the nature of this flower? Whenever there is darkness, it is closed. Whenever the sun rises, it becomes open. This is how we also should be. In this world, there is good things, bad things, everything is there in this world. You should always be open to everything that is good, noble, divine, and you should be close to everything that is ignoble. A beautiful message this flower is giving. This is how we must live. And also, even though it is in water, it is untouched by water. This is another great message. Remain in the world, but remain unattached, untouched by worldliness. So all this message you get from this flower, that is why this flower is there everywhere. Lotus, lotus, lotus. Everything is lotus in Hinduism. Lotus eyes, lotus heart, lotus hands, lotus feet. Many times you think, what is this lotus, lotus? And all these gods and goddesses, they also stand or sit on lotus. They are all symbolic. So first of all, we have to understand what this lotus is. If you sit on a lotus, what will happen? So don't take things literally. In Hinduism, everything is symbolism. We have to try to understand what that symbolic meaning is. So therefore, read the book Symbolism in Hinduism by Puja Gurudev. Excellent book. That understanding has to be gained. So in the same way here, Sarasijanayane, Bhagavan, your eyes are lotus. The beauty of eyes. What is the beauty of eyes? The ability to see the truth and ability to feel that compassion. That compassionate eyes. That is Sarasijanayane. Sashankha Chakre. Okay, so we were discussing about the four hands. Right? So the first one, what is the first one? Shankha. The call of the conch. That voice from within which is asking us to walk the path of righteousness without any compromise. That is that conch. And if you walk the path, what will you get? Padma. Correct? But suppose we deviate from the path. We are tempted by the worldly attractions. There is another voice also which emerges from us. What is that voice? The voice of the ego, which will ask us to compromise with the higher values of life. We have to be very careful, these two voices. When the mind is peaceful, sattvic, that voice becomes the voice of God. But if the mind is disturbed, don't trust that voice. When the mind is in rajas or tamas, never trust that voice, because that voice belongs to ego and not God. And if you listen to that voice and yield to the temptation, a time will come when you will repent. In haste, repent in leisure. So this voice, you have to be very careful. Ask first this question: is this voice coming from a peaceful mind or a disturbed mind? From a sattvic mind or a rajasic mind? If you are in a state of disturbance, never listen to that voice, because it will cheat you. It will show you hell and tell that this is heaven. It will make you shout at others and justify your shouting and getting angry. Oh, what happens when we don't listen to that inner voice and get tempted by this external attractions? Then comes Gada. Gada. After doing the wrong thing, there is a feeling of guilt. With that guilt also, if you are not correcting yourself, slowly, externally, you start attracting yourself a negative environment. These are all the indications that Bhagavan is not happy with you. First, there is a conscience prick. That is the first thing. If you are mature enough, you will correct yourself with that conscience prick itself. But if you are immature, you will not listen to that voice. You will go on taking the wrong path. And Bhagavan does Samadana Bheda Danda. That is his way. In the beginning, lovingly he will suggest correction. Then slowly that voice becomes little louder and stronger and firmer and bitter. But if you don't correct yourself, slowly the environment becomes more and more unconducive. People around you starts disliking you, disrespecting you, harming you. That is Gada. But finally, with that also, if you don't correct yourself, then what comes? Chakra. You are eliminated, because you are a threat to the welfare of the society. Right? This is how Bhagavan has designed this world. So this is called a Shankha Chakra Gada Padma. Let us not get into Gada and Padma. Gada and Chakra. When we listen to that Shankha, at least let us develop that ability to listen to that Shankhanada of Bhagavan and be good children of Bhagavan. Then everything is fine with us. This is the meaning. Sarasijanayane Sashankha Chakre Murabhidi Ma Viramaswa Chittarantum Bhagavan. So here Bhagavan's name is Murabhit. Bhit means destroyer. Mura means what? The Asura. So Bhagavan is the one who killed Murasura. So who is that Mura in us? Our own ego. What else? Hey Bhagavan, may I never viramaswa, refrain from meditating upon you. May my mind ever, hey Chitta, actually this is an address to the mind. Oh dear mind, never stop meditating upon that Supreme Lord. Sukhakaram aparam najatu jane. I don't know any other higher joy than joy of devotion, joy of God remembrance. Haricharana smaranamrutena tulyam. Haricharana smaranam is amrutam for me. Remembrance of the lotus feet of the Lord is amrutam, and this amrutam, there is nothing in this world sweeter than this amrutam. Sukhakaram aparam najatu jane. I don't know any other bliss. Now a person comes, oh Kulashekhara, my condition is pathetic. I come under hopeless case. Hopeless case means what? I have committed all sins in life. I am a Sudurachara, rank holder in committing sins. So therefore, when I chant Bhagavan's name, I am scared because all my karmas are going to come now. Only terrible karmas I have done. The guilt is eating me. Do I also have some hope? So that is the next verse. Verse number 11. Page number 52. Ma bhir mandamano vichintya bahudha yamischiram yatanaha naminaf prabhavanti paparipavaha Swami Nanushridharaha Alasyam Vyapaniya Bhakti Sulabham Dhyayasva Narayanam Lokasya Vyasanapanodhanakaro Dasasya Kim Nakshamaha Abhir Mandamano Vichintya Bahudha Yamischiram Yatanaha Naminaf Prabhavanti Paparipavaha Swami Nanushridharaha Alasyam Vyapaniya Bhakti Sulabham Dhyayasva Narayanam Lokasya Vyasanapanodhanakaro Dasasya Kim Nakshamaha. Hey Mandamanaha, oh dull-witted mind, Ma bhi, don't get worried, tensed, anxious. Tensed, thinking what? Vichintya bahudha yamis chiram yatanaha. Yatanaha, thinking of sufferings. Suffering in various hells. Thinking of all the sufferings in various hells. Because of that past terminal karmas which you have done, oh dear mind, don't get scared. Why? Because naminaf prabhavanti paparipavaha. These sinful actions which you have done, which are now acting as your enemies, these sinful actions of your past, naminaf prabhavanti, these sins cannot affect you. Swami nanu Sridharaha, is there not a Swami, a master for all of us, who is Sridhara? So therefore, alasyam vyapaniya, give up all your alasyam, laziness. Bhakti sulabham, this path of devotion is very, very easy. Dhyayasva Narayanam, meditate upon that Narayana. He will solve all your problems. Lokasya vyasanapanodhanakaraha, that Bhagavan, he is the one who destroys all the sufferings of this world. Dasasya kim nakshamaha, will he not remove all the afflictions of a person who has surrendered unto him? So therefore, become a dasa of Bhagavan. Don't worry about all those papa karmas that you have done. Now this is a very, very, again, important philosophy in Hinduism, a very important concept in the path of spirituality. What is that? Many times people ask, Swamiji, I understand this theory of karma theory. What is karma theory? Whatever you do comes back to you. But Swamiji, suppose, now I understand, after studying the scriptures, I understand we should do only good and all. But what about all the papa karmas which I have done in the past, in my ignorance? What should I do? Because those papa karmas are definitely going to come back to me and create suffering in me. This is a very common question asked by the devotees. So what is the answer? The answer is, if you can truly, with a repentant heart, approach Bhagavan and say, Bhagavan, unknowingly I did all these mistakes, please forgive me, I will not repeat it. With this kind of attitude, if you approach Bhagavan, all those karmas are wiped out. Exactly like a child who has done mischief and the mother is going to give 2 beatings to that child in anger, but suddenly the child leaves all mischief and just goes and falls at the feet of mother with tears in eyes. What will the mother do? Will the mother say, no, karma theory, you must get 2? No. She immediately forgives everything, isn't it? Remember that action of repentance also is a karma which can wipe out all the past karmas. So this is a very important concept. So it is not necessary that whatever you have done, you have to go through. No, there is another exception to this rule. What is the exception? With a sincere heart, if you repent, all those past papa karmas can be wiped out. That is what is being said here. Naminaf prabhavanti paparipavaha, these sinful actions of the past cannot give you painful results. It is wiped off. That is the glory of devotion. Swami nanu Sridharaha, is there not a Swami, a master? Compassionate attitude towards his creation. So therefore, what should we do? Alasyam vyapaniya, give up this laziness, excuses. Dhyayasva Narayanam, meditate upon that Lord. And this path, bhakti, is sulabham. It is a very, very easy path. All the saints, they say, this path is the easiest path. Why is it easy? Only thing you have to do in this path is drop the ego. Surrender unto the Lord. This is what you have to do. Sharanagati. Now tell me, dropping the ego, is it easy or difficult? Easy or difficult? Swamiji, is very, very difficult. Actually speaking, it is not at all difficult. If you just think over it, what is ego? That sense of feeling that I did it, I am great, I am this, I am that. The world is designed to puncture the ego. Bhagavan is so compassionate. He will never create the path which is very difficult. No. Bhagavan will never create a path which is difficult for his children to tread. Never. So therefore he has created a world in such a way that we can easily drop the ego. Swamiji, how can you say that? Just pay attention to the realities of life. Keeps coming down. You see, it doesn't matter, later, tomorrow. So, pay attention to the realities. How many factors are necessary to exist on this planet? External factor, how many? Food, water, temperature, humidity. So many factors. Gravitation, right distance between sun and the earth, and so many factors. Infinite factors outside. How many factors inside? Liver, heart, blood vessels, I don't know what all. All those things have to function. How many factors? Infinite. Infinite factors outside, infinite factors inside. Only when these factors come together, we can be alive on this planet. And how many factors are in our control? How many factors? Not even one. Yes or no? So that itself, just imagine, most important thing in my life is my life, and that itself is not in my control. Life is not mine, it is a gift given by God. Second one, all my talents and abilities, ability to think, ability to sing, dance, whatever, talents and abilities, even the ability to see, ability to hear, ability to even move these hands. Really speaking, I don't know what is happening. How am I seeing? I don't know. How am I thinking? I don't know. How am I moving this hand? I don't know. How am I talking? I don't know. How are you listening? You don't know. There is no scientific explanation which you can give. We just don't know how we are existing, how we are operating in this world. Again, all the achievement that we have gained in this world, awards, rewards, recognition. For every achievement you must have, first step is inspiration. Yes or no? Only when you are inspired you can do something. Only after doing something you get awards and rewards. Tell me, how did you generate that inspiration? Don't know. We are inspired, we did something, we got awarded. How did you create that inspiration in you? We don't know. So therefore, when we analyze our life, we come to these 4 Mahavakyas. What are the 4 Mahavakyas? Not Aham Brahmasmi Tattvamasi and all that. The 4 Mahavakyas are, oh God, I am nothing, I know nothing, I have nothing, I can do nothing. Remain here. This is the first step. Is it difficult? Your job is to become a nobody. Because you are nobody. You don't have to study scriptures for that. Just analyze the realities of life and we'll come to know we are nobodies in life. This is the only qualification necessary for bhakti. Bhagwan, I am a nobody. You are everything. I am nothing. Isn't it sulabham? Khandana, mandana, etc. is very difficult. Proving the illusory nature of ego is very difficult. All those things are sadhana, chatushtaya, sampanna, adhikari. Difficult. But here, Bhagwan, I am a nobody. 2 qualifications necessary in bhakti. Humility and gratitude. Bhagwan, I am nothing. Whatever is happening in my life is all because of your grace. Every time people appreciate you, praise you, congratulate you, your job only is to hand over that credit to Bhagavan. That's all you need to do. And what will happen? The mind becomes purer and purer. In that pure mind, you clearly experience the presence of the divine. Bhakti automatically comes. And interesting thing about this cosmos is, the more and more you are grateful to whatever has been given, the more and more you are given. Is a law. The more and more thankless you are, only complaining of what you had not been given, whatever is given to you also will be taken away from you. This is a law. A very dangerous law. Powerful law. It's a cosmic law. What is the problem with modern generation? How much ever we give, they are still complaining about what they don't have. Beware of this thought, because it will take away whatever has been given to you also. If you don't value what has been given to you, whatever has been given to you will be taken away from you. It's a law. Because you understand the value of a thing only when you lose that thing. So the cosmos will make sure that you lose what you already have and what you don't value. These are the laws which we have to teach our children. Always complaining and grumbling. This path of bhakti is very, very easy. It is a path of humility. It is a path of gratitude. It's a path of sweetness. And as you are walking this path, you become a very sweet person, humble person. And as you become a sweet person, everybody starts loving you, respecting you. And in that pure heart, you experience the presence of the divine. The only thing which is preventing us from reaching that Lord is our own ego. His famous quote, "Renounce your ego" is the only request from God. "I will make you God" is the promise. Beautiful quote. So this is all what we need to do. In all the paths, this is what we are trying to do. In the path of Jnana Yoga, you try to understand the illusory nature of the ego and get rid of the ego. In the path of Karma Yoga, you do selfless service and get rid of the ego. In the path of Bhakti Yoga, you surrender unto God and get rid of ego. In the path of Raja Yoga, you witness your ego as a thought and sublimate it. Which path you take, choice is yours. But remember, the purpose is only one of all sadhanas, getting rid of your ego. Bhakti is therefore very sulabham. It is a path of love. It's a path of humility. So bhakti sulabham. So, oh dear mind, practice this. You cannot give any justification or excuse for not doing any sadhana. So therefore, you must do sadhana. But what happens to those people who ignore all this teaching and then live in this world? Misery alone is their lot. So now the 3 verses are hard-hitting verses for those people who live a life of forgetfulness of God and live a worldly life. Let us chant them. Verse number 12, page number 58. Bhavajaladhigatanam dvandvavaatahatanam sutaduhitrkalatratrana sutatuhitrkalatratrana vishama vishayato ye majjatamaplavana bhavatu sharanameko vishnupoto narana bhavajaladhigatanam dvandvavaatahatanam sutaduhitrkalatratrana vishama vishayato ye majjatamaplavana bhavatu sharanameko vishnupoto narana. Verse number 13, page number 62. Bhavajaladhigmagadham dustaram nistareyam athamaham iti cheto masmagah कातरत्वं सरसिजदृशि देवे तावकी भक्तिरेका नरकभिधिनिषण्णा तारयिष्यत्यवश्यम् भवजलधिमगाधं दुस्तरं निस्तरेयं कथमहमिति चेतो मास्मगाः कातरत्वं सरसिजदृशि देवे तावकी भक्तिरेका नरकभिधिनिषण्णा तारयिष्यत्यवश्यम्. 14, page number 66. तृष्णातो ये मदनपवनोद्धूतमोहोर्मिमाले दारावर्ते तनयसहज ग्राहसङ्घाकुले च संसाराख्ये महति जलधौ मज्जतां नस्त्रिधामन् आदाम्भोजे वरद भवतो भक्तिनावं प्रयच्छ. तृष्णातो ये मदनपवनोद्धूतमोहोर्मिमाले दारावर्ते तनयसहज ग्राहसङ्घाकुले च संसाराख्ये महति जलधौ मज्जतां नस्त्रिधामन् पादाम्भोजे वरद भवतो भक्तिनावं प्रयच्छ. These 3 verses is one topic, how worldly people completely forgetting about Bhagavan, immersed in their worldliness, suffer and suffer and suffer. So that topic we will take up tomorrow. Om sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet, asato ma sadgamaya, तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय, मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय. ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः. हरिः ॐ. श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः. हरिः ॐ.